everyone, it's Diabetic Danica and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm finally going to update you on what I think about the Fiasp insulin that I've been trying out. So if you haven't seen my other videos, I would encourage you to check them out. But basically Fiasp is a faster acting Novolog, and so it's supposed to kick in a lot faster so that you don't have to pre-bolus as much, that kind of thing. So overall, there are things I like about Fiasp and there are things I don't like about Fiasp. So I feel like overall, at times I would feel like it was a lot faster than Novolog. Other times I wouldn't really notice a difference, actually. I still feel like I kind of need to pre-bolus, but maybe not as long of a time ahead of my meal. One kind of surprising thing about Fiasp is sometimes I would give the insulin and I had to give it a little bit in advance so that I still didn't have a huge spike, but my blood sugar would often actually go down before it went up. So I would bolus, eat my meal, my blood sugar would start to go down, and then it would go up. And then I would still kind of spike, maybe not as much. But yeah, so it's definitely fast, and I loved how fast a high blood sugar would come down. So let's say I wasn't trying to match my insulin with my food, but I was just trying to lower a high blood sugar. I felt like Fiasp kicked in way faster than Novolog and really helped it to come back into range. So like let's say I was like 250 and I correct. I remember going back to my Dexcom and looking and being like, wow, I'm already down within range. Like that is crazy. That would have taken so much longer on Novolog. So that's a really nice benefit, so that you're high for less time because it comes down really fast. I did have a lot of trouble trying to figure out the timing with Fiasp. So obviously some carbs are a lot slower acting than other carbs, and so you don't want to give the Fiasp too early because then you're going to go low, and then later when the slow carbs hit you, you're going to go high, because when you go low, you eat more for the low, but then those other carbs kick in too and you end up high. So slow carbs were really tricky, and then really fast carbs, I still couldn't always bolus like right before I had them. I did have to give it a little bit of time to kick in, but again, probably not as much as Novolog. But it takes time to figure out timing of insulin doses and all of that, so part of me was just like, maybe I should just go back to Novolog because I feel like I can predict it more just because I have more experience with it and I know kind of how long it's going to take to work. But I don't know, sometimes I felt like it was just hard to figure out. But again, it's new. One big thing I did not like about Fiasp was when I exercise. So when I exercise, I usually in the past have done a temporary basal. I do negative 80%, so I'm only getting 20% of my basal. And that way I don't go low during my run, and then later I just kind of watch it and see and treat any lows that I have to. So with the Fiasp, I noticed that when I exercise, I go low so much faster with Fiasp than with Novolog. I don't know if it's just because it's a faster acting insulin, so when I exercise, it absorbs even faster than Novolog or what, but I would just tank with my blood sugars. And so I would do the same thing. I would set a temp basal and I would still usually go low during my run. And I don't even run very long. I run for like 30 minutes and I would go low like every time. And then later I would go so high. So that's the other thing with Fiasp, with me at least. When I decrease my basal or turn off my basal for some reason, I am way more likely to spike so much faster than I was with Novolog. Even though that doesn't really make sense because Fiasp is still supposed to be in your body for 3 to 4 hours, but for me I noticed, like basically I would go low during the run, even though I did a temp basal, and then I would go high later from the lack of basal. It was so weird. Same thing with like going for a walk right after bolusing. That can be tricky regardless, but I felt like with Fiasp I was way more likely to drop in blood sugar. And that's really frustrating for me because I don't want to have to eat a snack before I go for a run. I like that I can just set a temp basal and be okay. So that was a big negative for me for Fiasp. Another thing I really struggled with Fiasp is sight issues. So if you saw my video of me trying it for the first time, it stung really bad when I first started. I feel like the stinging has gotten worse. Usually. It definitely stings way more often than Novolog ever did. Novolog basically never stung for me really, but Fiasp sometimes stings, and when it stings, and you're like, I don't want to bolus. But also I just felt like it irritated my sights a lot more, like when I take off my sights, leaving kind of a bump around where the cannula was in. I feel like they're even more itchy than usual, even more red than usual, just overall less comfortable. And I tend to have skin issues anyway. I have pretty sensitive skin and I'm pretty sensitive to infusion sets and all of that, but I feel like the Fiasp is just more irritating overall for my insulin pump sites. But yeah, going back to the thing of like suspending my pump and going super high after, I feel like in some ways that's kind of a nice tool though. So like if I saw on my CGM that I was starting to drop low, I could turn off my basal rate on my pump, which I do anyway with Novolog. But it would make a difference a lot faster than when I did it with Novolog. Novolog, it would take a little while to help me out with the low when I turn off my basal, but Fiasp, it would help out pretty much almost right away, which is crazy. It doesn't really make sense, but that's what I noticed. So it would go from a down arrow to a stable arrow a lot faster if I just turn off my basal with Fiasp for a little bit. And this was before I was really, really low, just like starting to get low. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I felt like it was kind of hard to predict when the insulin was going to hit me, how fast, how long, because I noticed after a bolus for a meal, I would watch my blood sugars on my CGM, and they would start to go down at first, and they would go up, then they'd level off and start to go down again, and so I never really knew if I was going to end up low or high or how it was going to pan out. Also, I don't know if this is true, but I have a feeling that maybe Fiasp goes bad a lot quicker in the heat, just because the few times that I've been out sunbathing with Fiasp, I always, even when I was on Novolog and everything, I hide my pump in the shade, really try to keep it from getting exposed to too much heat. But both of these last times I went sunbathing, my blood sugar spiked crazy high. And so I don't know if it was just since the insulin in the tubing was in direct sunlight, if that all went bad. And so I wasn't getting insulin for a while. And like I said, when I don't get insulin for a while with Fiasp, even just a short time, my blood sugar kind of spikes. So I don't know if even though the cartridge wasn't going bad, it was just the tubing insulin that was going bad, and that alone was enough to really spike my blood sugar like up into the 300s. I feel like it didn't really do that before with Novolog when I would sunbathe, so I don't know. Overall, as you can see, I'm kind of torn. There are things I like. It gets my blood sugars down really fast. It definitely kicks in way before my meals at times, which can be bad if I go low and then makes me spike afterwards because I correct for the low. But there's also a lot of things I don't like. The exercise thing, site irritation, spiking quickly if I decrease my insulin at all, but that can also be a good thing. Anyway, you get it. So overall, I kind of decided that I think I want to go back to just Novolog. But here's the kicker. So I just turned 26 in May, and so in June I had to get off my parents' insurance and get my own insurance, and my new insurance only covers Humalog. So even if I wanted to stay on Fiasp, I couldn't because my insurance doesn't cover it. So I'm forced to switch to Humalog. You can of course get a doctor's note or something like that if you have to be on Fiasp, but I haven't tried Humalog since I was like 14 probably. So there's no real reason to back up why I would need Fiasp. And I was already leaning towards trying Novolog anyway again, so I'm gonna go with the Humalog. Sadly though, my heart just feels like this brand loyalty to Novolog because I had an internship at Novo Nordisk in college, and so my heart is so much like Novolog, 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 but I'm sure Humalog will be fine. It's just a little sad that I'm being forced into it, but they're pretty much the same medication for most people, so that's ultimately what's going on with me. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't try Fiasp. It might work awesome for you at preventing post-meal spikes and things like that. You just gotta figure out what works for you. But I think when I switch back to Humalog, I think I'll just really focus on timing my boluses right. And I just feel like I can predict those Novologs and Humalogs a lot better than the Fiasp, but maybe that's just me. Yeah, I was on Humalog when I was first diagnosed. I was on Humalog and NPH, and I stayed on Humalog for a few years, and I ended up on Novolog. I've tried Apidra, Fiasp, and now I'm going to Humalog again. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I make new videos about diabetes all the time. And leave a comment down below telling me what you think about Fiasp, if you've tried it, or even if you haven't, just your thoughts on it. And I'll see you guys next time for another new video. Bye.